Next up, we're taking a look back to our most recent trip out to the Goodmanson Sandhills Laboratory. Since the inception of that research facility in the early 1980s, research and educational programs have become more diverse and team-oriented. This has resulted in several advancements when it comes to range livestock, nutrition, reproduction, and grazing systems, just to name a few. We were fortunate enough to get a closer look at how researchers continue to push range livestock production into the future. Bill Dodd is back with this story.
At the Goodmanson Sandhills Laboratory, the ranch of the future is a reality in the here and now. It's often been said that necessity is the mother of invention. So, when it comes to precision feeding and grazing, new technology is an inevitable step for many cattle producers, and the team here at Goodmanson are finding out just how these new technologies can benefit producers in terms of range management, input costs, and overall profitability. One new technology being tested here is virtual fencing.
And virtual fencing is a tool that essentially is similar to what you might put on a dog to keep it in your yard. It uses GPS to see where that cow's at, and you're able to create fences on a laptop or a computer that would then keep those cattle within a defined area that you could move frequently. And so we're conducting some research looking at how that might be applicable within a grazing system in the Sandhills. So it's a collar that fits around the neck of the animal, and it gives a sound audio cue when those cattle come up to a line, a user-defined line, and that's as a warning. And if they keep moving on to that, it'll give them a mild shock. And what we found is it's fairly effective, that once cattle learn that behavior, or learn what those signals are telling them, they quickly associate that sound with, okay, this is where I need to stop. And so we're looking at how this affects some of the behavior of cattle, and better understand how this can be used in a larger operation to really manage grazing. And so really thinking about how do we keep cattle away from areas they may graze too much, and maybe put them in areas where they may not like to graze as much, and to help provide a little bit more targeted, strategic type grazing on a landscape.
As far as investing in this type of technology now, the total input cost and savings producers could see with this type of investment haven't quite been determined by the researchers as of yet. However, they have already observed many benefits in both pasture management and labor reductions.
You know, it's really, we're not quite there yet, because it's just kind of getting out of that research phase, I would say. You know, it's just barely becoming commercially available. But we'll learn more in terms of understanding that cost and benefit relationship. The big thing is can it equate to more grazing days? You know, with better distribution, better utilizing the resource, that's probably a benefit, and it cuts down on labor too. You don't need to be out there putting electric fence or other fences in, and it allows some more labor savings in that way.
While grazing and pasture management are crucial for cattle producers, there's still the issue of feed. Getting optimal distribution among the herd can sometimes be tricky, as some cattle can be more aggressive or timid when it comes to feeding. Enter the Smart Feeder. This tag-based feeding system will ensure that each cow will get the necessary intake for targeted gains.
You know, if I'm feeding a group of cows in a pasture, say there's 100 cows in that pasture, and I'm feeding at some rate of, say, 1 pound per day, I'm going to have boss cows or aggressive cows that will be eating 4 or 5 pounds of that. And I'm going to have cows that do not eat any of it. So you have a wide range in responses from that. And it's really not a uniformed way to supplement cows across that, because of the behavioral component of aggressive cows and timid cows. And so one way around that is using technologies like this. And so, you know, if you think about our feed costs in beef production, our cow-calf production, you know, a lot of those in a total production system costs, they make up somewhere around 65% of total costs. And so much of that could be tied up to, I've got cows that are eating way too much and cows not getting anything. And so this feeder right here works off an electronic EID in a cow's ear. So a cow will walk up to it, it registers who that cow is, and they're programmed per cow that, let's say I want to feed 1 pound per day. And so that cow with the EID walks up, it knows who it is, and it will start dropping feed for that cow slowly and allowing that cow to eat. And you know, the focus is really, can I refine my cost of my supplementation by utilizing some of these technologies that give me that precision to control some of those costs much better than we had before of feeding in bunks or feeding out on pastures, etc.
With the integration of new technologies and ranch economics in several areas of research conducted at this facility, Goodmanson has become an invaluable part in creating plant and animal production systems that aim to make future ranch practices even more economically and environmentally sustainable to the Sandhills region of Nebraska. Reporting for Market Journal, I'm Bill Dodd.